All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Creative Cruising and Seabourn presentation. Joining us today, we've got Jennifer Compton, who is the Key Account Manager for Seabourn. So a few quick housekeeping notes. Everyone should be in mute mode for the webinar. If you have any questions at all throughout the presentation, please use the chat function, which is located on the bottom of your screen, and we will go through all of these together at the end. Okay, so I'm going to pass over to Jen now so we can all learn more about Seabourn, our packages, and our fantastic gift card incentive. Over to you, Jen.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us, whether you're doing it live or you're listening to the recording later on. Really appreciate you tuning in. So I'm just going to get straight into it. So for want of a better term, Seabourn is an ultra luxury country club at sea. The Seabourn experience has always been luxurious, elegant and opulent, yet very relaxed, casual and understated. There's no bling, there's no flashy gimmicks on board. It's just pure relaxed luxury. Last month, we launched a brand new advertising campaign specifically targeting affluent, engaged women, 50 plus. So pre-pandemic, this demographic had a huge surge with our brand, as like most 50 plus, they're at that stage of their life where they've got the time and the money to sort of focus on life moments rather than sort of, champagne or, looking after everyone else. So whether they're organising holidays for their partner, for, girls' getaways, they're really sort of at control and they're the key decision makers here. So I just want to share with you our beautiful 60-second ad campaign that we've got just to set the mood.
This is your moment. This is where it all comes together. All those years of waking to the sunrise and burning the midnight oil, the raising and rejoicing, the struggles that led to successes that led you to this moment, when it all falls into place, when you arrive at new views of yourself, or that person sleeping beside you the past 20 years, when you can hear the drumbeat of your heart, the call of the wild, the beckoning of new friends that feed your hunger to live the largest possible life. This is that moment.
Okay. Oh, you found it.
Isn't that gorgeous? A very refreshing rebrand for us. And at the top, I just want to point out that it's actually Seabourn Month at Creative Cruising. So they are running an exclusive trade promotion for you all for bookings made and deposited in March. So there's lots of exclusive packages available over the month, and we'll talk about them in the rest of the presentation too. So our Seabourn fleet currently has 5 classic ships, all of which will be back in full service by April. We have our 3 babies, the Odyssey class ships, so the Odyssey, the Quest and the Sojourn. Each have 229 suites only. 90% of them are veranda staterooms, suites, and only 26 ocean views are on these 3 ships. Then our next class is our 2 newer ships that have 1 deck extra on them. The Encore class, the Encore and the Ovation, have 300 suites in total, and all of them guests have their own private veranda on board. Our expedition ships that are soon to be launched, Venture and Pursuit, are identical, and they only have 132 all veranda suites on board. So we are a very small cruise company. Just to recap what is included in all Seabourn fares, regardless of the fare type, all of our dining venues and specialty restaurants are complimentary. There is absolutely nothing to pay. We've got up to 6 restaurants available at any one time for guests, and there is not another cent to pay. All premium spirits and wines on board are complimentary, and they are available at any time. We don't do house wines. We don't have table wines. We don't just have beer and wine served at lunch and dinner and call it all inclusive. Our spirits and our wines are available to guests at any time. When guests get on board their first day, they will be greeted by their suite host with a glass of French champagne. Montadon is our beautiful French champagne on board that we serve. And the champagne then is available to them at any time. They can order a bottle of champagne, a glass of champagne 24/7. They can have it for breakfast with their lobster Benedict. It is available at all times. There's no tipping at all on Seabourn. We now have complimentary Wi-Fi that we're very excited about. It is unlimited and it is available to every guest. They all get their own account, so we don't do shared Wi-Fi packages again within the suite. Everyone has their own account. We don't do generic shore excursions on Seabourn. What we do have included are unique Seabourn experiences that come with selected voyages, such as caviar in the surf, the Marina Day, the Galley Market Day. So I'll touch on a few of those as we go down the presentation as well. The situation that we're in at the moment, as you can appreciate, is changing weekly and changing for the better, really, in regards to cruising. We were one of the first luxury cruise lines to go back into service last August. So our guests should feel very confident that we have the experience and the well-trialled procedures in place to sort of move forward in this pandemic. At a bare minimum, mandatory vaccinations, fully vaccinated for all crew and all guests is a must. We have pre-boarding screening, post-screening for guests that are going on. That's all complimentary. And as of today, we are now trialling voluntary indoor mask wearing. It was compulsory outside of, oh, sorry, let me go back there. Outside of, what have I done? Back there, I've touched something. Outside of the dining and drinking, guests had to wear masks, but now in line with the CDC in the US, we are trialling their voluntary. Seabourn's always had the highest, space to guest ratios in the industry, so physical distancing has actually never been a problem for us. But where guests sort of are compromised in that space, we do recommend that they actually wear a mask, like in the lift or, if they're sort of, moving on and off the ship sometimes. And moving on and off the ship, I should say that we are at the mercy of the ports and the countries that we visit at the moment. That again is changing sort of upwardly. So guests a lot of the ports we visit no longer have to sort of remain in a little Seabourn bubble. They are free to roam, but we always ask you to check our website for the most up-to-date information, obviously, when guests are just about to cruise. So we do update everything as it is. But cruising is back and we are in full service. While our program was on pause, there was a full 12 months that we weren't doing anything, or just longer than 12 months. We added some new features to the Seabourn experience. One of the exciting new refreshes is with our onboard housekeeping staff. So we now have a 2-person team servicing each suite. We have a suite host and a suite attendant. So that was replacing the formal single suite stewardess that we had. We've never referred to it as a butler service on board Seabourn. That's actually too sort of stuffy a term for us, but the service is identical. So both the host and the attendant are on hand to sort of at guests sort of every need. So if guests need a zipper fix, they can take it down to the seamstress on board. We've got a seamstress on board every ship. They can run a bath post cruise for you, have a bath drawn for you. They can organise a little drinks party for your friends inside your suite. They're really sort of on hand to do anything. And another great enhancement we've had is with our safety briefing. So we now have e-mustering. So no longer are we ushering guests into the restaurant pre-cruise for the safety briefing. They can sit there with their champagne and canopies that their host has just given them and watch the briefing on their in-suite TV. So that's actually a great sort of additive. Now, the service we offer on Seabourn is really second to none and does set us apart from the others in that luxury space. It's not just our housekeeping teams that are providing the intimate service. All of our staff are quick on name recognition and guest preferences, in particularly our food and beverage staff as well. They always know what the guest's favourite drink is and how they like their eggs done, etc. Every staff member on board from the officers down are there to serve the guests and just ensure that they feel like they're really valued members of our little lovely little unique club that we have on board. This is a V1 lead-in suite on our Encore class ship. So this is a photo of the V1 on the Encore. The suite is identical in all suites, so in the veranda category. And on the 26 ocean view suites that we have on our smaller ships, the suite itself is identical in size, except there's no veranda. There's a lovely big picture window. So all of them have king size beds and elegant living areas, really purposeful living areas. If you notice, it has a proper dining room. I'll just point to it there, a proper dining room table. There's not just a coffee table in there. It's a proper dining room table, so perfect for in-suite dining. We don't have room service as such. When you do order our in-suite menu, you can order just straight off the restaurant menu on Seabourn, and our host will come, as the suite host will come and set your table, and the dining staff will come and serve to you course by course, pour the wines. It's beautiful. It's also the perfect working space for guests. So a lot of us are working on the run now. We can all work remotely now. We've learnt that over the last 2 years. So setting up your laptop and checking in on your work emails, etc., is just the perfect luxury space now to do that in your lead-in suite. Just out of screen too, we have a fantastic, running the length of the bed, that is the wardrobe and dressing room with a fully closed door. There's enough hanging space in there for both guests to empty the contents of their suitcase. There's lots of drawers sort of sitting out here too, so that's all drawer space down there, and a beautiful walk-in wardrobe with a safe in there. The robes are in there. It's just really sort of a lovely big space that we don't have a photo of, but next time I go on a cruise, I'm actually going to take a photo of it because it's worth showing. And of course, this is your lead-in bathroom on Seabourn. So 4 marble bathrooms, 5 fixtures, so a double sink in every single suite. There's 2 showers in every single suite, one over the full-length bath and an independent shower standalone there that you can't see, that's just near the front door. All of the beautiful molten brown amenities, the products are in there, shampoo, conditioner, moisturiser, all with that beautiful exclusive Seabourn scent as well. Now, I'm not going to go through every category, but this is the next step up, just so you can see the next step up from that B class. So you go from that beautiful sort of lovely large studio apartment to this spacious 1-bedroom apartment and our penthouse suites. So they 50% more space, just sort of, right from the get out. A full independent bedroom that can be completely closed off, double the size bathroom, there's another TV, the dining table out there seats 4, and a full domestic lounge out there, so full relaxation. So really sort of great step up to out of that veranda category. Now, dining on Seabourn is very serious business. During our pause, we actually added more than 300 new recipes across the fleet in all of our dining venues. They've all had some sort of menu enhancement. So it's 5-star dining across the board, be it formal or informal. And we have up to 6 dining options on all of the ships, which is a lot of dining options for a very small capacity fleet. I'm just going to run you through a few of them. This is our beautiful restaurant, and it's called The Restaurant on every ship. Very complicated names we have. The most popular dinner option this is for guests usually on our ships, and offers a beautiful 4-course menu. There's no booking required at all on most of our restaurants on board. It has the capacity to seat all of the ship's guests at any one time, though it is rarely full to capacity as we've got so many other options. It's a great, vibrant restaurant. We have hosted tables here, so guests can always expect to receive at least 1 dinner invitation in any 7 days of a cruise from either, the officers or the entertainment staff or the guest speakers on board. Really fantastic way to meet other people and to spend your dinner as well. Or if you want to dine, I know people that have just never dined with anyone and just go in there and dine on their own as a couple every single night. So anything goes, no pressure for anything on Seabourn. This is our beautiful Colonnade restaurant. This is our major casual dining option on board the entire fleet. I've got 2 photos of 2 different angles there showing you on the on Ovation, I should say. Beautiful wide open space. I'm just trying to emphasise how spacious the ship is. So there's dining on either side of that, and then there's indoor dining on the side where I'm sitting. It is available for breakfast, lunch and dinner, open all those times. We have a sommelier on hand at all times, including breakfast. And we do themed dinners as well at night. So it is full table service at night. There is no buffet. So we do Indian or Greek or Moroccan. But even when it is a buffet for breakfast, lunch and dinner, guests can either go up themselves or they can get the staff to go up for them if they, don't feel like getting out. And we also have small menus on the table for guests to order from as well. Here's just another 2 shots. So that's sort of the other direction of the indoor on the ovation, the seating area, just beautiful, lovely space. And then all of them have a beautiful al fresco deck, so out the back. So obviously all the same menu, all the same wait staff. Guests can go indoor or out. Our poolside restaurant is the Patio, another complicated name, and it is open for a barbecue buffet lunch of beautiful seafood, steaks and salads. At night, we transform it into the specialty Ocean and Earth restaurant with full table service, so there's no buffet then. I've just shown you a photo in the middle, sort of an aerial photo too, so you can see the seating. It's sort of along there. As you can see, I've done it again, as you can see, it is sort of quite exposed to the elements, so at night it is closed if it is raining, though we do bring out heaters and blankets for those lovely clear nights. The lunch, we're a little bit more flexible. We do have umbrellas out there if guests would still like to dine out there for in the rain. Encore and Ovation have a purpose-built sushi restaurant on board. So we have some of the world's most talented and authentic sushi chefs contracted from Japan working on these ships. All of the seafood and produce used in the restaurant is flown in from Japan. So we have a full a la carte menu at dinner, and we also offer bento boxes at lunch. I will say again, the restaurant is called Sushi. So it's not just sushi available, that's the name of the restaurant. It is extremely popular with guests. We had no idea how popular it was. Now a lot of the sushi items are introduced on the smaller ships as well up in the club. The sashimi and sushi, it is sort of so popular. We know of guests that eat here every single day on board for at least either lunch or dinner, so it is sort of very popular. Actually, while we're speaking of traditional and authentic, it's worth mentioning that we have gelato freshly made on each ship every single day. The chefs who make it too have been all flown to Bologna in Italy by Seabourn to learn the traditional methods of making gelato, so they weren't just reading it out of a book. So again, we do take food very seriously on Seabourn. Now, I have to mention the caviar. Regis Ovar caviar is available at any time, any way you choose and anywhere on the ship. So even though it may not be on the menu every single night, guests can choose to have it as their pre-dinner canopy or starter in the main restaurant. They can order it into their suite, have it on their veranda for afternoon tea with some champagne, or they can order it for pre-dinner up in one of the bars with oysters. They can do that anyway. So again, Seabourn, absolutely nothing is a problem. We have an exclusive partnership with the chef Thomas Keller. He is a world-renowned chef. He's the owner of, among many restaurants in the US, the French Laundry and Per Se. French Laundry is in the Napa Valley and Per Se is in New York, both of which have 3 Michelin stars to their name. No other restaurants in America have 3 Michelin stars to their name. He's never lent his name to any other company except Seabourn. So we're very, very privileged to have him on board. Not him personally, his restaurants, I should say. He is renowned for his delicate attention to every single detail and every aspect of the food he serves, particularly where it's sourced. We use the same suppliers on board Seabourn as Thomas Keller uses for his land-based restaurants. So his restaurant is called The Grill on all of our classic fleet, and absolutely every detail is handpicked by Thomas Keller. As such, all the chefs and the service staff that are on board have to be trained in his kitchen in the Napa Valley before they can work on the ship. There's a lot of dishes that are prepared tableside, and there's a real theatre that goes into a lot of his dishes. So it is an absolutely unmissable dining experience, I should say, for guests. And it is all complimentary. Per Se, his restaurant in New York starts at $295 US for a 5-course tasting menu, and that is without alcohol. So again, complimentary on Seabourn. This photo here is on the smaller ships. We haven't got a purpose-built Thomas Keller restaurant because he didn't join until 2018 or 2017. But we have repurposed our former specialty dining restaurant to mirror the Thomas Keller experience. Here are 2 shots of the Encore, the grill on Encore and Ovation. I just wanted to show you just sort of how gorgeous they look. They're just beautiful leather-bound settees. They're that real old world charm and very similar to the New York layout of per se. The restaurants are more than double in size. Obviously, the ships are bigger and it is a purpose-built space. So they have their own dedicated bar there. It really is just an absolutely magical space. I just wanted to say, last week on our Seabourn Instagram page, they posted a beautiful photo of the Thomas Keller restaurant. And I just wanted to read one of the comments that one of the guests made. The Thomas Keller restaurant was amazing. Every detail was perfection and there was a view of the sea and sunset to match. I expected great service and outstanding food and wine, yet I was surprised by the flavour combinations and the quality of every single ingredient. I hope to be blown away soon by another fantastic meal. So there's a very happy camper who made the comment on Instagram. Now, I just wanted to show you one bar. There are quite a few bars on our classic fleet, but we don't have enough time to go through them all. This is my favourite, the observation bar right at the top of the ship. It's a really buzzy place and, you know, great for a pre-dinner drink destination. We serve tapas up here every night as well. We do high teas in this space on Sea Day, and it's just beautifully appointed. Thomas Tahani has done all the furnishings here, and it's just really lovely, inviting social place, great place to invite someone to buy them a drink. That's all complimentary. So yeah, really lovely outdoor and indoor bars as well. Now, as I mentioned, the beautiful exclusive Seabourn experiences. I'm just going to talk a couple through now. Caviar in the surf. This is our marketing shot of caviar in the surf. Here are my organic photos that I've taken of caviar in the surf. I'm not a photographer, as you can tell, and I was having such a great time. I actually forgot to take a lot of photos, but this was in Thailand, in Phu Quoc a few years ago. The day pans out, the ship arrives at sort of early in the morning, and then after breakfast, everyone is tended to this beautiful private island. Now, the Seabourn ferries get there well before we do and set up the beach. This is a deserted beach, and set up full tables, proper chairs. It's no ordinary picnic, that's for sure. Real cutlery, porcelain dinnerware, fresh flowers on all of the tables, and then the beach barbecue is set up. This is freshly made bread every day. That's the only food shot I got, but then the lobsters came out, the steaks came out. It was an absolutely exceptional day. Right before lunch is served, on a tender come the food and beverage officers with caviar and champagne. There is already champagne and a full bar set up on the beach, I might say, that it was all temporary and instant, a pop-up. And the staff come in and it is just the most fantastic experience. There's a long shot of me back on the beach looking at everyone just walking into the water to get their champagne caviar. It is sort of, you know, great fun. And then they've got the banana boat rides out there. They've got sailing. They've got speedboat rides. That's snorkeling. It's just a really fabulous, and what would have been an ordinary day at sea just turns into this just magical, fantastic experience. So very well worth doing. When we don't have our own private beach to go to, we have these fantastic marina days that are very popular in the Mediterranean, and we do them also off the Pacific Islands and the Philippine Islands as well, where we literally pop the boot open, the back of the ship, and we have this fantastic netted pool. So for guests that, you know, are afraid that little fish might come and nibble their toes, they can have a lovely swim in the med, you know, free from anything else. There's kayaks, there's banana boats, snorkeling, another fun day out on board. Now, Seabourn is the only official cruise partner of UNESCO World Heritage. A lot of cruise lines actually go to UNESCO sites, but we are the only official cruise partner. So that means our guests don't just visit the sites, they travel with UNESCO guides directly from our ship. So one of the extra special inclusive experiences we have is an evening at Ephesus. When Seabourn's in port at Kusadasi, Turkey, we transport all of the guests to the former ancient city of Ephesus for this fantastic classical private concert. The site is closed to the public, and our UNESCO guide and the Seabourn staff host our guests to a beautiful tour of the ruins and then a seated cocktail party of champagne and canopies while the orchestra plays. Then afterwards, everyone's transported back to the ship for dinner and a beautiful sail away. So I've got some more organic photos from another great photographer on our team, Sally Murphy. She's our South Australia BDM. She did this exact tour a few years ago. Just said she was formerly a tour guide through Europe for many, many, many years. She said this is just one of the most spectacular things that she's ever done. Again, the Seabourn ferries got in early and set up all of the tables and chairs. So it really is, the guests aren't sort of walking around trying to take canopies off someone's tray. Each person gets their own sort of shared table, shared canopies. It's just a really sort of magical experience. So we've extended our European season this year and next year as well, just to sort of get the most out of, get back what we didn't have when we were on pause. And that includes, we have many, many, many departures for this, including this Ephesus excursion as well. So Creative Cruising got some exceptional wholesale pricing that we've given them. So it may not be packaged. So please call them if you've got guests that want to do this Eastern Mediterranean. We've got departures, well, anytime from May this year, but August, late in the season, October and November. It really is just sort of a magical. And as I said, cruising's back, everyone's back. Also, they've got some exclusive, this is Creative Cruising I'm talking about now, again on Seabourn Month, some exclusive packages for 2022 and for 2023. They've given me 3 to show today that excellent rates. These rates that we give them, if your guests sort of went online to see them, the rate would be exactly the same. And all of these packages come with free hotel, 5-star hotel accommodation in Europe. So this first one on the 10-day Venice to Barcelona has 3 days in Malta, absolutely beautiful itinerary, comes with 2 free nights in Venice at a 5-star hotel. Excellent, excellent value. There's a 14-night Barcelona return next October. So this is a late in the season departure in October next year, 2023. So that beautiful French Riviera and the western coast of Italy, perfect time to sail around there, and comes with 3 free nights in a 5-star Barcelona hotel. And their final package that is on exclusive to Seabourn, exclusive to Creative Cruising, I should say, this month, is the beautiful North Cape. So the Norwegian fjords, round trip Copenhagen, with 3 free nights at a Copenhagen 5-star hotel. So absolutely excellent value there. So in Norway, the guests that are on that Norway cruise will have access to our optional Ventures by Seabourn program. So this is being created for the more sort of active adventurers, guests that want to just elevate their experience while they're on the classic fleet. So it's very different to our expedition ships, which is 100% expedition. The Ventures by Seabourn program started in the Antarctic and was so popular we sort of lent it out to the opened it up, I should say, to Norway, Alaska, and the Amazon. So we have a small team of expedition experts on board that take them kayaking out in Zodiacs on extended hikes. You do pay extra for them, they aren't inclusive, but the popularity of this has led us to our own purpose-built expedition ship. So welcome to This Is Venture, launching in July this year, and Pursuit, its sister ship, will be launched in April of 2023. So after a couple of false starts with the closure of the shipyard in Italy, we're finally launching for real in July. This is an absolute purpose-built ultra luxury expedition ship from top to toe. It's not a modified classic ship, it is purpose-built. So guests get complimentary Zodiacs, scuba diving, snorkeling, e-bikes. Aside from the kayaks and the submarines, all of the activities and all of the excursions, the onshore excursions, are included. Our view of expedition is with Seabourn Touring is that all guests have the same experience and that no one feels like they're missing out. They're not on land anywhere and then separating into 15 different groups, doing 15 different things. Everything is concluded for all of the guests to enjoy. Now, every guest has their own private veranda. There is 132 suites in total on each ship, and all guests have access to 5 decks of outdoor shared space. So as you can see all down the back of that ship, all of those spaces are open for guests to enjoy. It's a unique purpose-built expedition ship with all of the Seabourn luxuries and the restaurants and the bars that transferred over from our classic fleet. Also, the top viewing decks are available to guests as well. So they're free to roam around where the Zodiacs are housed, obviously not when the Zodiacs are on and off the ships, or going up and down the ships, but guests have full access to the bow. Right down here, they've got access to the upper bow up here above the bridge, sort of where the observation bar is. So we really want guests to get out there in the elements and to just really sort of take it all in, so they're not seeing all of these fantastic sights through just glass. So just take a look at the other expedition ships that are out there in the market, and just, you know, we are different. It does look very, very different to everything else that's out there. What is not different is our leading veranda suites. They are identical in size and layout to the classic fleet. Adam Tahani's waved his magic again and had beautiful furnishings sort of throughout, with that whole sort of lodge feel inside throughout the ship. And of course, you'd only expect a marble bathroom on your expedition ship. Again, twin sinks, 2 showers, full-length bath, molten brown amenities throughout. That is at a minimum in the V class. And I wanted to point out our panoramic veranda suites. These are totally unique to our expedition ships. There's 16 in total. They run right down the centre of the ship. The bed is facing the window. There is floor-to-ceiling glass there, plus the veranda. So guests get a full bird's eye view of absolutely everything, and you can be lying in bed and not miss 1 ounce of action without sort of even, you know, turning your head one bit. Excellent. Now, I'll just share a couple of the common areas on board the ship. We'll go up sort of deck by deck just quickly so you can get a real feel for what it's like inside. These are still renderings. As I said, it's not launched until July, but we're nearly there. Directly above the landing zone. So the landing zone are the mud rooms, really. We don't call them that. They're beautiful landing zones where the guests sort of take off all their wet gear and jump in and out of the Zodiacs and the kayaks and things. This is our expedition lounge. So it's the heart of the ship where guests gather before and after the expeditions each day, just immediately before and after. Of course, there's bar staff and baristas on hand to greet them. The expedition team sort of give them last minute instructions before they go down, or when they're coming back up. This is the great place where they can have a drink and share the photos that they've all just taken, you know, have a little quick brief recap from their expedition leader that was on their Zodiac before they start sort of moving sort of throughout the ship. Forward on that deck, we have the Discovery Centre, which is like our theatre. This is purely used for expedition purposes. It can seat the whole population of the ship at any one time. So at 6:30 every day, guests come down for a recap and a briefing. The leader will fill them in with what's sort of planned for the next day and what the plan B is too, in case the weather sort of might turn on them, and also gives them a recap of what they all saw and, you know, any questions that they ask. It's sort of very inclusive and it's meant to open up all the conversations. This is obviously the penguin expert, this guy here. We have 26 experts on board, expedition staff. They all, of course, don't talk at the one time in every briefing, but, you know, the specialists sort of come in and out. So great briefing room down there, the expedition lounge, the Discovery Lounge, I should say. On this same deck, we have our beautiful restaurant, the restaurant. It's identical to the restaurant on our classic fleet. Of course, there's no bookings. It's come as you wish, and you'll be seated immediately. Beautiful 5-star dining. Sommelier, obviously, always there on hand. The next deck up, deck number 5, this is the first of our open decks. This is the pool deck aft. So we have a fantastic, luxurious infinity pool that is all season. It's heated. There is full service around the pool. So again, you really have to remind yourself that you're actually on an expedition ship. We've got the lovely patio seating there at the back. The patio restaurant is there for breakfast and lunch. And then if guests walk through the doors, sort of past the patio barbecue area, they will come to our colonnade. Again, just as our classic fleet, this is a smaller version, obviously, because the capacity is half the size, but we have a lovely colonnade restaurant available again for breakfast, lunch and dinner. One deck up, and we are deck number 6 at Seabourn Square. Now, this is an identical space again to our classic fleet. This is the concierge and the library area, and a view from the other end, it is our beautiful cafe and gelato bar too. So guests can come up here, get a coffee, get a gelato, get some pastries, and then walk out into the beautiful square deck out the back. After the ship, this is all weather. It is protected, but it is beautiful, lovely, fresh, open air out there. There's heaters, there's blankets. Again, we want guests sort of out there in the wide open spaces. Now, still on deck number 6, forward, this is truly a unique and purpose-built space on the expedition ships called the Bow Lounge. It sits just directly under the bridge. So guests get full panoramic views. They see everything that the bridge is, the officers in the bridge can see. And these little consoles here, that's actually the virtual bridge. So it displays all of the navigational information, most of the things that they're seeing upstairs in this beautiful luxury setting. There's, bar service down here. They serve canopies as well, little snacks all the time. And at the front here, there's easy access out onto the bow. So this is where guests can sort of have direct access out onto the bow. So if there's some wildlife spotting out there, or particularly if they're cruising through ice, a perfect place to be. We do also have an open bridge policy on the expedition ships as well, but if guests don't want to be up there looking over the shoulder of the captain every 5 seconds, this is the perfect space for them to be down there and still get the same experience. Now, up one deck, deck number 7, we have a fully equipped state-of-the-art fitness centre on board, plus our wellness and spa rooms are all designed to give that guest that beautiful feeling that they're in a rainforest. We've got floor-to-ceiling windows in our infrared sauna. We also offer daily group Pilates, yoga and meditation classes, which are complimentary for all guests. We have on board a trained mindful living coach as part of our Andrew Weil Wellness program. So for an additional cost, guests can have a one-on-one personalised program curated for them while they're on their beautiful itinerary expedition cruise. Now, deck number 8 is only suites, so there's no public area on deck number 8. Up onto deck number 9, and we're in the sky bar. So aft, looking down over that beautiful infinity pool and the patio restaurant, there's 2 hot tubs either end, so one up there and one out of shot as well. Perfect place for sundowners up here. We do offer pre-dinner canopies as well. There's always food available on Seabourn, and if you walk through those doors, just with my little mouse, those doors there, you will come to the club lounge. So this is, I didn't show you a photo of this on the classic fleet, but it is exactly the same club lounge on our classic fleet. And again, great for pre and post dinner. This is where the entertainment really is. We don't have a show on our expedition ships, so we'll have sort of light entertainment in the bars, singers, guitarists, sort of, mini performers. It's really about the expedition, not about the entertainment. So this is a beautiful space. Guests can also order fresh-made sashimi and sushi bites up here well into the evening. So from pre-dinner right up until midnight, they can do that as well. So as these are expedition ships, we are pretty much off the beaten track, and we go to very few major ports. So the majority of our landings are via Zodiacs. Venture's inaugural season almost does sort of a figure of 8 from the Antarctic down to from the Arctic, I should say, down to the Antarctic, and then back again over the 12 months. Pursuit, when it's launched next year, Seabourn Pursuit will focus more on Asia. They've got a Kimberley season, which we're very excited about, and also they're doing New Zealand from the Antarctica from New Zealand, sort of round trip. So we're very excited about that. That should be that program should be launched soon, the end of April, I think, when the expedition brochure is due out. So no itineraries are the same. They are all exclusive one-offs, except for the Svalbard experience and the Antarctica experience. So I've just sort of pointed these out because the Svalbard experience has about sort of 7 or 8 departures, and the Antarctic 4. They start or end with a charter flight. So almost all of the itineraries start with overnight accommodation and then a chartered flight to meet the ship, or vice versa on the end. So the Svalbard experience starts and ends out of Oslo, and the Antarctica experience starts and ends out of Buenos Aires. So the ship itself is round trip Ushuaia, and then there is a chartered flight and 1 night pre-hotel accommodation. So we have 4 departures in South America. I just thought, because that is a rollover from our classic fleet, our very popular Antarctica program. So it is shortened. There's only 10 days actually on the ship, and then another night overnight accommodation. And we've got this fantastic ultimate holiday Antarctica this year, Buenos Aires round trip again over Christmas and New Year, that takes guests out to Georgia Island, South Georgia Island and the Falklands. And we also, it's worth noting too, that the classic fleet have always gone into Manaus at least once a year, pre-COVID, but now with our expedition ship, we go right into Iquitos, which is just absolutely fantastic. Now, I just wanted to highlight too, I've only picked 2 itineraries here. I just wanted to show you sort of how 2 very almost identical itineraries can be sort of so different. These are the Pacific side, the very, very remote Russian and Japan islands up there. There's a 26-night that actually starts with an overnight accommodation and air from Anchorage. So if you had guests that are in North America that would like to start up there, have just completed their Alaska tour, they can start in Anchorage, fly into Nome in Alaska, and then begin their 26 nights all the way down to Kobe. Another spin on that is if they wanted to lose 12 nights of the cruise, and they can start and finish in Japan. So fly out of Osaka and join the cruise up in that place that I did rehearse, and I'm not going to even attempt to say it, in the very, very southern remote volcanic area of Russia, and then sail down into Kobe. So there's so many different options. So many different sort of itineraries out there. There's much on offer. As I said, the trade incentive is on this month with Creative Cruising. So booked and deposited bookings. Always speak to their call centre. Even if they don't have a package available, there might be a great wholesale rate that they've offered that they can pass on to you just as an FIT, or package it with something else. You can do something a little bit more bespoke. We have an extension of our Sweet Life promotion, which is a category upgrade and reduced deposits. That is not available on a lot of the best wholesale rates, I should say. But even if you were buying FIT, it's still worth it to buy it through Creative Cruising and have these on offer. So thank you very much for listening. This is our moment. If you've got any questions, Lara, I'm sure will facilitate them, or if you're listening to this recording, please just let her know and she can reach out to me, and we can ask anything. So thank you very much, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jen. It all just looks amazing. It's so hard to pick which itinerary looks the best.
I know. It's spoiled the choice.
Yeah. So just with our incentives, so it is a $200 e-gift card for the first 10 travel advisors to book and deposit any Seabourn cruise or package through Creative Cruising from now until the 31st of March. With all of our packages as well, as usual, they can be found on our Air, Land and Sea page. And for those of you who have the white label site with us, all of your clients will actually be able to have a look and see those packages on your own white label as well. So if we do have any questions, if you would just use the chat function down the bottom, we will have a look here. Okay, so we have a question from Sid. Can you please advise whether the included flights, are they economy or business?
Very good question. We've chartered the whole flight. So we've actually even asked for more information on luggage requirements as well. There are sort of a few things. It's a very, I don't think there's any specific class in that flight. Like, you can't buy either a business or an economy. Everyone will be sort of sitting in the same seats, but we just don't have that confirmed right now exactly what those are. But I can get that information for you. We are pressing them for it. It is only Seabourn guests on the flight, and the flights are usually they're under 2 hours. I think they're not sort of overly long, a lot of those flights, but I can definitely get you more information on that.
Thank you. And then we have a question from Rosemary about single staterooms. Are there any available?
We don't have single staterooms. We have single specials. So a single person would be in that. You saw that lead in. Normally, in a normal world, they sit at around 85%, 185%, I should say, of what the double would be. We on our website, we have a list of single specials. Sometimes, if you're very lucky, and it is mainly the Caribbean sailings, because we have a few more departures you can get one that is just 50%. You're literally just sort of paying the single, one person in there. It's not 200%. But yeah, we do press them a lot of times for proper PDF sheets, and they don't promote them, but there is always that option on the website to sort of fish around to see what was going to be the best price ones. Actually, I'm actually going to ask for that and see if I can get, because to be honest, we haven't asked for the last 2 weeks. We do nag them a lot, and they do sort of promise these things. But if we can just have a sort of a highlighted list, particularly of 2022 departures, they are sort of short term when they do these single specials as well. obviously depending on inventory that they've got, but 2022 is probably sort of more likely to be available sort of nowish. So I will get onto that.
All right, thank you.
And feed it back through Laura. No, sorry.
Thanks. And then just in regards to the expedition ships, do they have two separate types of bathrooms? So one where there's a shower over the bath and one with the walk-in, or is it only the bath shown over the, the bath over the shower as shown in the presentation?
No, there was a shower in the corner. It was identical. Sorry, I probably skipped over that, but the bathroom is identical to the classic ship. So when you walk in the door, it's very hard to see in that shot. On the left-hand side of that bathroom is a freestanding shower that is on the classic fleet and the expedition fleet. And then there's another shower over the bath. So they're identical bathrooms. It's just the colour of the marble's different. So sorry, I didn't sort of make that very clear on the expedition part of it, but absolutely walk-in shower for everyone. In every suite.
Sid, this webinar will be on the webinar page of our website. For any of the social media tiles for our packages, they can also be found on our website underneath Agent Tools. All right. Did anyone else have any questions? No? All right. Well, thank you very much for that, Jen. It was absolutely amazing. And thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you, everyone. And I look forward to doing it again soon.
All right. Fantastic.
Take care.
Thank
Stay
you.
out of the rain.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.